We are recording. Okay. Gorgeous. It's not Halloween, but somehow we are all experiencing a universally horrifying dating life as women. Dating men just seems to be so challenging and so disappointing, and it's a universal experience for the most part. I rarely, I don't want to say rarely because it does sound a little bit depressing, but dating men more often than not is horrifying, okay? No emotional skills, no thinking skills. Have you ever been sitting across from a man and you're like, why would you say that? Why would you say that right now? Why would you do that? And they're like, what? What do you mean? And I'm like, oh my God. It's like dating a child. It's literally like dating a child. And I got to tell you, it doesn't get better with age. I really don't think it does. They could be 24, they could be 34, they could be 44. And I'm still like, why would you do that? Literally, why? And they don't ever really have an explanation other than, what? What do you mean? Something that I want to touch on before we really elaborate is that I don't like the notion just pick better men. I don't like that. I really don't, because some of these guys are sneaky. They're players, okay? And sometimes, more times than not, us as women, we have a lot of work to do. We have a lot of work to do because what happens is we give them so much benefit of the doubt and we think, one more chance, one more shot. We glorify the bare fucking minimum. And we're like, well, the last 5 guys didn't get me flowers and he got me flowers. So just because I caught him in a lie, he got me flowers. Come on. He texts me good morning every day. And I'm like, that's literally the bare minimum. That's literally the bare minimum. You know what you got to do? You got to get a list out. You got to get a list out and you have to write down the qualities of a person that you would like to be in a relationship with. And the reason why this is so important to do is because once you write out that list and you see it, you can revert back to it. You can hang it up on the fridge. Okay. When you start talking to a guy, you could just scan the list. You scan the list. First 3 things on the list he doesn't have. Ooh, it's going to be proceed with caution. It's going to be proceed with caution. It just brings everything into reality for you because more often than not, you're going to give a lot of chances and you're going to put up and tolerate a lot of bullshit for the sake of well, he's better than the last guy. So that's good. And yeah, sure, that's good. But always be working towards a better man. Okay? Because there really always is a better man. I do think so, and I do believe that. He might take a while to show up, but he will show up. It's inevitable. Duh. And if he doesn't, well, I'm still thinking he's going to show up. So I'm still going to move and groove and show up for life. But I'm also going to, what the list is going to help me do is it's going to remove my instant gratification and my ego from the situation and let me look at it from the lens of someone who's a little bit more intentional with the people that she's spending time with, right? I'm going to give you an example of a characteristic that's on my list. Generosity, okay? And generosity is, whenever I think about the word generosity, I think about the Family Stone. Generosity of spirit. If you've ever watched The Family Stone, it is the best Christmas movie ever, and you know exactly what I'm talking about. Generosity really is the generosity of your spirit, of your essence, and the reason why it's important for me to go out with guys that have that same energy is because I have that energy. And I'm not just generous with my time, I'm generous with my effort, I'm generous with my affection, I'm generous with, did I say my time? My time. Yeah, I'm generous with my time. And I don't have a lot of free time. But if I like a guy and I'm like, okay, we had plans on this day, but maybe I don't have the energy to go out and make it a whole big thing, I'm going to be like, I still want to see you. Let's still do something. let's like order in. Like, let's keep it like chill vibes, cool vibes. I'm always going to be bringing. And what am I bringing? I'm bringing my essence. I'm bringing my presence. I'm bringing my energy. I'm bringing my intention. Everything that I do, I really do with intention, even dating. I've always kind of been like that. But when you're in your early 20s, you're really just like, I want a boyfriend. I want a boyfriend. And, you know, granted, a lot of people are still in that space, because that's how we've been conditioned to be like, that's what you got to do. You got to get a man, you got to lock him down, and you got to get married, and then you got to have babies and like start a life, right? Create that list. And once you go through that list and you cross-reference, okay? We're going to get serious here. We're going to cross-reference that list, not only with you and the characteristics that you have that you're coming forward with, you're also going to cross-reference with the man that you're currently seeing, or men, if you have a rotation or a roster. And you're going to say, is this person, do I feel like they're also generous with me? Okay? Because oftentimes when we talk about generosity and being generous, people are like, money, she's talking about money. Yes, that's also part of it, of course, because I'm also someone who is, I don't really look at the dollar value of something. If I'm talking to a guy and like I see something that reminds me of him, or like I know he's going to like something, I don't mind picking it up. I don't mind giving him gifts. I don't mind spending my money on him. However, I don't just spend anymore. I don't just spend. I'm like, what has this mother trucker done for me? What has he shown up with for me? And sometimes you girls think that like when a guy has like money, when a guy is like rich, okay, he's got materials on him, and you're like, he has money. Just because he has money, that money has nothing to do with you. I have met some very extremely rich men who don't like spending a fucking dollar on girls. With guys, like, it really is easy for them when they do have money, because girls be throwing themselves at him or at them. I do believe that when a guy does like you, he is showing up with some provider energy, some finances of the sort. And it's, again, not about the dollar value. I'm not talking about bags. I'm not talking about fucking Birkins. I'm not talking about Chanel. I'm not talking about Louboutins. I'm not talking about that shit. It's something as simple as like, you're not feeling well and he ordered you a bunch of chicken noodle soup. He ordered you a bunch of like juicer shots. Like, that demonstrates care and consideration. Okay. A lot of guys are not going to do that. And so for me, when I'm like, oh, like, he knows that I'm sick. Like, I told him that I would like can't get out of bed, or like I'm, you know, so burnt out or whatever. And he wasn't like, oh, what can I do to help? Or like, he didn't offer, right? And that's where the generosity comes in. See how we're getting away from the money and into the generosity? It's like, what can I do? How can I help? And the reason why that's important to me is because that's always where my mind goes. Like, if I see someone crying, if someone needs advice, if someone needs help, if my friend is like, I feel so bad, I don't feel good, like I need a pep talk, or I'm always like, how can I help? So dating a guy that is not like resourceful or helpful, I'm like, he's going to take up way too much of my mental energy. He's going to drain me emotionally, and he's not going to give back to me. And that's where we're going to lean into like number 2 on my list, reciprocity. I have to feel like my cup is also being poured into, like I'm also getting full. Because if I stay in the state of giving, and he's not giving, then guess who's going to burn out? And guess who's going to become resentful? So it's also about identifying for you, like, your non-negotiables. You can write out your non-negotiables, and you can cross-reference them also with the guy that you're seeing. And you can decide, in this relationship with this guy, maybe this non-negotiable isn't as much of a deal breaker as I thought it would be, right? Because maybe he has the generosity and the reciprocity, but maybe his communication, he's still working on it, okay? For an example, as someone who's very big with communicating, I used to be like, if the communication is not perfect, and as a Virgo, everything needs to be perfect in my life, which is just the root of all my suffering, okay? So I always have to like remind myself, nobody's perfect, not even me, bitch. I don't always handle situations the best. And, sometimes we need to pick and choose, okay? It's a balancing act. Maybe in this situation, the communication is not so bad because we can work on it and we can find our flow and we can find our groove and our routine and a communication style that works well for both of us. See what I'm saying here? So you got my top 3. He's got 2 out of the 3. That's not so bad. Of course, in this situation, he's not a liar or a cheater, okay? Because those are always deal breakers. Always, always, always. But essentially what this list is going to help you do is it's going to help you weed guys out quicker. And that's what you really want to do. You want to weed them out quicker. You want to be assessing and observing. Be in touch with, obviously, your emotions. Do I really like this guy? What do I like about him? Get really nitty-gritty and into the tangibleness of things. For me, I find going with the flow doesn't really work always because I'm an intentional person. Like even when I text, it's intentional. When I hug, it's intentional. I don't do shit just to do shit. Absolutely not. Everything is intentional and dating is intentional for me as well. So the lists help. And I think a lot of girls need the lists. The non-negotiables and the list of qualities that you would like in a partner. Just that you would like. Your partner doesn't need to have all of those things, but it's good to start with a base. It's good to assess, and it's good to keep you grounded so you don't lose your head, okay? A lot of pretty boys walking around, a lot of players walking around, a lot of guys flashing money. The money has nothing to do with you, bitch. The money is not in your hand. It has nothing to do with you. Stop being so impressed by what a guy physically has on him, because men will spend on themselves. Doesn't mean they're going to spend on you, okay? A lot of the TikTok videos be fucking the girlies up on that one. They're like, but he's rich. And I'm like, hey, but I think he hates you because he's rich and he shows up and he doesn't, no flowers. What's going on? I'm so confused. He knows you're sick, but he didn't get you anything. What's going on there? I don't like that energy. Quick intermission here. We need to talk about OPI nails. Natural nails are having their trend moment right now. A natural nail has always been it. She has never left the chat. She's never gone out of style. This past year, I said goodbye to my extensions and said hello to my natural nails. OPI's Repair Mode Bond Building Nail Serum has literally been a game changer in my routine. She has done wonders, absolute wonders for my nails in bringing them back to life and making them super strong and very happy. Also be assessing the energy that he's bringing forward. And be engaging in dating breaks as well. Because when you have a dating break, you take time for yourself. You can assess the guy you just were seeing and dating. You can reflect on that. What worked? What didn't work? What did I overlook? What don't I want to overlook next time? What was a red flag that I ignored there? Okay? You allow yourself to observe the situation without the emotion, which be fucking us up. The emotion always gets us. Please stop glorifying the bare minimum and start making your lists. Start making your lists. I love a pros and cons list, always. With people, with weeks, with trips. I love lists. I'm a Virgo. A list is very sexy to me. I love it. You're not making enough lists. You're not. You're going with the flow. You're romanticizing fuck shit, lame shit, loser ass shit. And just because the last 5 guys didn't do something I don't know, maybe they couldn't plan a good date. That's a big one for men. And I'm just your ability to lead as a man is so important. Maybe that's on your list. His ability to lead. Everything, as always, with a grain of salt. And everything is a balancing act. What do you think we can compromise on? And what shouldn't we? What are absolutes? Okay? Be thinking critically. The reason why we accept the bare minimum, why we, make excuses for guys, why we tolerate stuff, goes back to always the point that we need a man, right? You need a man. You're going to expire at 30. At 30, if you don't have a man, what are you doing? What's wrong with you? That's a big one. It used to drive me nuts. People be like, you're not dating? You're not dating? You don't have anybody? No special man in your life? There's this one guy. And without fail, every time he comes to see me at work, okay, it's like maybe like 3 times a year, 4 max. Any special man in your life, any ring on your finger, I'm going to knock you out. How about that? How about that? As a man with women, with children that are women, like, do your girls not check you? Do your girls not check you? And I know it's very hard for you to check men because we're told not to. But as you know, I have quite a big yapper on me. So I be checking these dudes because what are you doing? Like, first of all, I don't even know how you're married. And your wife probably doesn't even like you. Okay, so don't piss me off. But we are told that we expire, right? That we need to be the ones that give, that we need to be the ones that endure, that suffer, that make it work. Like, women are taught to do all these things, which is why we're like, oh, but it's not that bad. Like, it's going to get better. Let me just stick it out. Let me wait and see. Let me just try. Let me go on this date, even though I don't want to, even though I don't really like him. Let me give him a chance. Let me tell you, every time I've given a man a chance, he has proved why I should not have given him a chance. I'm always like, why did I do that? Why did I do that? And let me also tell you, men don't do that. Men rarely do that. Men rarely are like, that girl's not my type. Let me go out with her. Let me ask her out. Men don't do that. Men do not do that. So also be reminding yourself of that when you're dating. If you think like, oh, I'm going to excuse this behavior, or I'm going to overlook this, and like I can put up with it, why would you want to put up with anything in a relationship? Like, put up? No, 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 no. That's not good energy that you're bringing into the situation. You should never feel like I got to put up with this or I got to tolerate this. That's just like a man, for example, not being able to like be in control of his emotions and lashing out when he's upset and calling you a name. Okay? Or raising his voice. That's one thing I don't do. I don't do the raising of voices. As soon as you reach like above this area here, I'm going to pause you right there and I'm going to walk out of the room. We will not be discussing anything further if you can't speak like a normal person. That's right. If we think about it, women make the world go round, right? Everybody comes from a woman. I love to bring this point up in TikTok videos when guys say, you need men. Do we? Do we? I don't think so. Because who takes care of women when women are sick? Women, other women, my mom, my sister, my best friend, myself. Bitch, I take care of myself when I'm sick. I figure it the fuck out. That's the mentality that we give to women. Women are caretakers. Women are givers. That's what we do. Also, sidebar, very, very good read. The Secret to Unlocking the Stress Cycle, Burnout, you have to read. Have to read if you're a woman. Have to. It's like a rite of passage, okay? To be here, you have to have read that book. It's incredible and eye-opening. And you will just feel so seen, okay? Women are caretakers. That's what we do. That's what we do. Who takes care of men when men are sick? I can tell you it's not other men. Sure as fuck isn't other men. It's women. It's women. The amount of times my guy friends, for example, or just men in general, are like, I need advice on this. I need help on this. What do you think I should do? I'm feeling anxious. I'm having a panic attack. I don't know who to talk to. I don't have anybody else to talk to. Why? Because men are not good advice givers. Men don't really be knowing shit, okay? And I'm talking in averages here, like the average man. Do you know what I mean? The average man. No, he doesn't know. He's confused, okay? So women do make the world go round. And as an emotionally intelligent woman, as a successful woman as well, these qualities that are strong, sexy, amazing, and gorgeous are often used against you. You're too strong. You're too loud. You're too smart, right? You're too much of those things. You need to tone it down and then you can get a guy. No, you just need to meet the right guy that has the confidence to match that level. Do you know what I mean? Or not be intimidated by it. Because what happens oftentimes is guys will be like, yeah, I could get her. Like, she's above my level. She's out of my league, but I'm still going to shoot my shot. I'm still going to go. I'm going to get her. And then let's say he gets her for whatever reason. He becomes resentful because he's not really proud and happy that she's beside him. He doesn't feel adequate. He doesn't feel like he's deserving of that. So that's another reason why you have to be vetting men. People are always like, oh, you stopped talking to him for that. Like, that was so stupid. That was so silly. That was so small. It was big. It was big. Thank you so much. It was very big, because the small things often catapult and lead you into bigger problems. So you need to assess the probability again. We're back to probabilities. I might have failed math, but I'm pretty good at probabilities in life. And I've witnessed a lot of relationships that were very, very toxic throughout my entire life. And when you have a front row seat to toxicity, you are just like, bitch, I'm not fucking doing that, because this small thing catapulted, and now we're all on fire, essentially. Okay? So that is another reason why we really should be selective about these guys, be watching everything, and be paying attention, very close attention. Lastly, we are at the threshold of a new era, or the beginning of a new era, where millennial women are demanding more of men. Yes, we are. Yes, we are. We have seen our moms. We have seen our parents' relationship dynamics. We've had a front row seat to a lot of shit. And we're just like, yeah, I'm not doing it. Like, I'm literally not doing it. I want to vibe and thrive, and I want a partner that loves me, that can match where I'm at in all of these areas. Let's say you're very successful. Does your partner need to also be that successful? Maybe not. Maybe that's not a deal breaker for you. Maybe the fact that he is just emotionally intelligent, thoughtful, and supportive is enough for you. And that's great. But you need to identify, again, with your non-negotiables and your list of qualities, what is good? What is good for you? And you can always try it, but never, ever, ever go against your gut. Never go against your gut. Okay? You do not expire after 30. I'm 30. I think I'm just getting started. I am loving 30. And let me tell you, my 40s are going to be even better. Aging is not bad. You don't expire after a certain age. You don't need to be married at a certain age. You don't even need to have a boyfriend by a certain age, okay? 30, flirty, and thriving, whatever that means to you. But what we are going to stop doing is glorifying the bare minimum, and we're going to start elevating and raising our standards. Because if you think her standards are too high, I can guarantee you yours aren't high enough. I can guarantee you that, baby, okay? Usually women with those high standards end up getting the guy on the list. He inevitably shows up because she has told the universe, no, 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 not that, not that, not that. I'm serious about this. And if it doesn't happen and he doesn't show up for whatever reason, I'm going to build my life. I'm going to love my life, and I am going to have fun in my life, regardless of whether he shows up or not, because I'm the main character. It's my life. Haha. Okay? So even if he doesn't, she's like, I'm still going to be winning. And honestly, you're always winning as a woman. Like, duh. Thanks for tuning in, cutie. As you know, I love you and I always want the best for you. I would be really appreciative and grateful if you followed this episode, followed this podcast, like, share, retweet, comment, subscribe, whatever the kids are doing, whatever they're doing. I'm an elder millennial. I don't know if you know that. Everybody thinks I'm 24. I'm 30. I'm an elder millennial. I have no idea how these things work, but I would be very grateful for a follow, a like, a share, a retweet, all the things. Love ya.